Hey, you guys, and welcome to the Steele Wars Hyperchat. It is Wednesday, the 23rd of September, 2020, and happy to say, you guys, on the Steele Wars Hyperchat, it is 0 days. Wait, I got to get my head around that. Look at that graphic I just got up. If you are not watching this on YouTube, if you're just listening to the Patreon audio, you are missing a sweet Simpsons reference graphic. But I realized yesterday that I don't know if I've been doing this like all week since I've done this new sort of little setup, but I was just recording off the like laptop audio, which is just the best. Now I'm gonna start off. Welcome everyone. I will check the chat in just 2 seconds, but we'll start off with a video to set the agenda, because Giancarlo Esposito, who, like how many shows can this guy rule in? Oh, so good. He was a Best Supporting Actor in 2 Emmy-nominated shows this year, Better Call Saul, which I've got to catch up on. Where I left it, it was getting on par with Breaking Bad. The first season, very hard, but it gets good towards the end. Anyway, and also in The Mandalorian, he did an interview with People where he hints at not only season 3, but season 4 of The Mandalorian. And hey, if you respect that that thumbnail, then I respect you. Woo! Just some sweet wrestling references we've got going on. So let's check this out. And is that going to be the best? Here we go. That's a bit better. Let's listen to this. I'm certain. I will check the chat. If you don't get sound, let me know. But I believe it should come through.
Best drama.
With me, I have the pleasure, and I'm so excited to get a chance to talk with him, Mr. Giancarlo Esposito. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I mean, you've been working, brother, 2 Emmy nominations, one for Better Call Saul and one for The Mandalorian, but they're in the same category for Outstanding Drama Series. Who do you root for in that situation?
Well, you know, I root for them both. I wish we could split it. I do love my work and also the family of filmmakers on Better Call Saul. It's a very different kind of show. And because it has been around for a while and hasn't really coveted many Emmy nominations in terms of best drama, of course I root for them. But on the other side of me, I'm bifurcated, is this wonderful, wonderful new show, Mandalorian, which is such great, incredible technical filmmaking and great writing. And it reminds me very much of a mythological show that you can watch about heroes and villains, but you can watch it with your family. So for me, I'm split right down the middle, but I certainly have my affinity for a show I've been doing for a long time. And I know that Mandalorian is going to claim a bunch of those 18 nominations, but best drama is the one to get. So I root for both of my families of filmmakers.
Absolutely. I thought you might say that, so I have a similar question of a different kind. Let's say both win. Which one would have the more fun virtual after party? Who would we kick it with on Zoom for the after party celebration?
Oh, I'd have to go with Mando. Because you know, their after party celebration will be technically sound. It'll give you a light sound and musical experience. It's such a space odyssey. Being a part of the Star Wars family. So I would take their after party.
Okay. Wow. You have a real way of playing a villain, but to me, a likable villain. What was the difference playing 2 of these villains? Do you approach them the same? Is there a difference between the 2 of them?
There's a huge difference. In my work on Better Call Saul, I feel like Gustavo Fring is an iconic character after having been seen on Breaking Bad. Very vicious, very cold, very cruel, but yet you like him because he looks out for his family of business. a very, very nefarious character, but also very polite and very gracious. So I worked on playing him in a very different way than I played any other villain in my life. Star Wars, our Moff Gideon character, is a guy who's very, militaristic in many ways. He could be here to save the universe. He could be here to get what he can for himself or the people that he's working with. We don't know that yet. So he's also a very big mystery, but he's a no-nonsense kind of guy. He will bring his lightsaber to the party. Gustavo Fring will come, and he will take in the information and calculate
Sounds like my son.
what his next move is, and he'll go away, and the next thing you know, you'll probably be dead. So very, very different personalities, whereas Moff Gideon will take you out right on the spot.
Absolutely. Speaking of Gideon and the Mandalorian, season 2 is coming next month. You guys luckily wrapped filming before COVID really took off the way it has. But what are you looking for people to look forward to with this next season of The Mandalorian, which has 15 nominations, I might add?
The next season of Mandalorian is going to be very interesting because you're going to start to find out the power of the child, what the child really means. You will also start to uncover.
Hey, we all know the power of the child, what it means. It means Yoju. Sorry. Just had to scare off some listeners there with that.
The origins of the dark saber that Moff Gideon has and how that plays into previous Star Wars history connected.
Clone Wars
to the Clone Wars and other shows.
All right, I know the script.
And you'll start to get a real dramatic sense of the territory. We're living in a universe that is, just huge and so much to explore. So I think this show is going to start to lay the groundwork for the depth and breadth that's going to come in season 3 and season 4, where you're really going to start to get answers.
Thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it, brother.
And I'm in deep gratitude for you having me. Thank you.
Wow, that end bit was very exciting. Whew. Man, is he not the best dude ever? Giancarlo. Love him. Seasons 3 and 4. It fills me. Like we deserve, I don't want to talk about like we deserve and all that sort of stuff, but I feel like a well plotted out series that is leading up to things from season 1 in season 4 is, like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul did and done and doing. Did That's the best. I'm very happy. I am very happy. Let's check what's happening in the comments feed. Now, you can comment on this on Periscope while it's live, Facebook forever if you're watching on Facebook, or YouTube while it's live. And I can reply to all those, and I will attempt to on the show when I can. Leave comments on if you're not watching live in the Facebook, and I've got time to write a reply, and I do approve them all just so it's not crazy. It's nice and civil for a more civilized age that we're trying to build, which that's seeming harder and harder every day. But so I'll get back to that. Now, let's check the comments. Catherine Neen, who's loving these easier Australian times, says, for a man that plays a great villain, he has a beautiful smile, and he's just the sweetest dude. Rick says Giancarlo is the best. Emily Lind, he always seems like a good dude. Yeah, I know, but what's Giancarlo like? That's what that's what I'd like to know. My man. Kyle Delaney wants to know the odds the word Skywalker is mentioned during season 2 of Mando. Pretty good. I reckon the odds are pretty good. Oh, stretch my neck out. Having some coffee. I stole this. with sort of permission from the set of Studio 10 television show in Australia that I used to appear on. And it's Jonathan Coleman's. So for my long listening, podcast listening people back home in Australia will enjoy that. So I'm just loving what I'm hearing with this Mandalorian deal. I do want to say, though, about we covered this a couple of days ago with Star Wars Explained. You can watch it on the full Hyperchat. And I've also started posting up little sort of just news clips, sort of edited down, just one topic sort of highlights that will go up on YouTube as well for people to catch up. But I did why the Pedro Pascal rumors don't make sense with Alex from Star Wars Explained on the Hyperchat. And I've been watching more YouTube now because I've sort of, seeing what other people are doing and what people are talking about, that I'm sort of getting more into it. And I am shocked by like some great channels and like those rumors that were, put forward by, a YouTube pundit, then they get reported on, or there's an article written about it, like in the UK Sun. And people think that that leads credence to the rumors when there's no new information, except maybe with a bit of professional wrestling writing of making things more dramatic. They're just reporting on that YouTube. So if, these newspapers just want, or these websites, like they just want pages for people to click. And, they do stories on even the loosest of Star Wars YouTubers, maybe the loosest. So, yeah, just because like an entertainment site that like I think like, you've got your Deadline, which can go up and down, but your Slash Film, your Hollywood Reporter, your EW, Vanity Fair, that sort of stuff, like when they report on it, like with these, the one we did yesterday about Gilroy out as Black Mirror director, as Cassian director, when like that was a Deadline article. And so like they vet stuff. But, let's just be a bit smarter about who just will be, happy to post anything. Or on their YouTube, they constantly tell you that this should be taken with like a grain of salt, but then they talk about it like it actually happens and stuff. This is a good one. So apparently there's a rumor going around that Pedro Pascal, frustrated that he couldn't get anywhere with his mask off, uncomfortable suit, whatever's going on. He's very upset. So upset that he wasn't getting anywhere with the Mandalorian, production crew, whatever, the heads. That while George Lucas was on set, he went to him to complain about it. Now, I don't know. I think Pedro Pascal, like, I think he's been in enough shows and is a sensible enough guy that not to go up to the creator of this whole thing that's not even involved with it anymore. And, hey, can you get this? Can you speak to someone about getting this helmet off me? Very strange. Very strange. Kyle says that, can I handle a recast of Luke? I can. And my theory about this. This is my, hey, UK Sun, report on this. All right. So when, right, confirm, this is rumors. This is my source. My source tells me that while Sebastian Stan was filming the Winter Soldier, and what is it, Hawkeye and the Winter Soldier? What is that? What was the Falcon? Wow. So while Sebastian Stan was filming The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because it uses the same outdoor set, as far as I believe, in industrial LA, he also secretly filmed some of the final scenes in The Mandalorian Season 2 as young Luke Skywalker. That's what my sources are telling me in my sleep. Go to the bank with that one, everyone. Bang. And Emily says, I think recasting is way less distracting than CG de-aging. And yeah, let's not be hampered by, it always sort of frustrates me in The Rise of Skywalker. The Rise of Skywalker? Yeah. That we don't see more of Luke and Leia training with their helmets off, so we can sort of take in the visual of Luke and Leia, rather than it's sort of like the CG helmets on there and stuff. So yeah, I'd rather I can move on. Love Hamill. And actually, in the Shadows of the Empire thing we did yesterday, there was a good looking Luke Skywalker. That I was like, oh yeah, I'll take that as a Luke Skywalker. So yeah, let's be a little bit, let's know our source of reporting here. Now, more High Republic stuff, you guys. Do I have a banner for this? I do not. Let's go to Luke versus Picard. Now, there's an Uber Eats campaign that's just started. I haven't seen it anywhere except in my Star Wars newsfeed. And Uber, I don't know if you want to use that company. I don't know. It's not. If you can maybe use something else, they've got a bit of a bad track record. I would suggest listening to the Dollop podcast on Uber, and you decide for yourself. But whilst, and actually getting in an Uber right now, that doesn't do much for me. But I understand if you have to get around. So I'm not judging. I am supporting you in what must be an awkward endeavor. But then got some commercials coming out. 3 commercials featuring Star Trek Next Generation's Patrick Stewart facing off against Star Wars' Mark Hamill. And Patrick Stewart wants to see a Star Trek Star Wars crossover movie is the headline. I think that's a bit dramatic. Someone did suggest, I saw on Twitter, a Lego Star Wars Star Trek crossover, which I could go with. I watched a bit of the Lego Star Wars as he points over to his television to see if Harry would enjoy it yet. He did not. But I watched it for a little bit, and after he left the room, and it's good Star Wars comedy. It's just funny Star Wars references, and who cares what happens, and it's sort of like this funny universe, sort of like, it sort of reminds me of the Marvel comics before Empire Strikes Back, where they're just doing anything. They're all on these adventures. So that's really cool. So I could maybe go for a Star Trek Star Wars crossover. But I thought it would be cool if we check out these clips. Chrome tab. Share that audio. Let's see the first one.
Tonight, I'll be eating a veggie cheeseburger on ciabatta. No tomatoes.
Tonight, I'll be eating 4 cheese tortellini with extra tomatoes.
So it's come to this. Thank you.
Bravo.
Patrick Stewart.
Hamill, Daddy's not here to save you.
Oh, I am my daddy.
Come again?
Had the same reaction.
Wait, what? You said Daddy's not here to save you.
What are you talking about?
I'm not sure I got that right.
Oh, that's pretty good. All right, let's check out this one.
Tonight, I'll be eating roasted cauliflower tacos with spicy chipotle sauce. Thank you. Oh, it wasn't ready.
You want cheese to go with that wine?
He's very good.
Tonight, I'll be eating chicken tikka masala with garlic naan.
Yum.
Cheers.
I win again, Patrick.
That's Sir Patrick.
Ooh, sir.
Oh, man. They're very good. They are, it's a good misuse of the license. Oh, wow. And someone was saying, I tweeted this and I'm like, oh, the two GOATs, greatest of all times. And someone said, oh, Hamill's out to Patrick Stewart. And I once watched, I'm sure it's still there, youtube.com, the home of this very podcast or whatever this thing is. This video of at like a Comic-Con Q&A of this fan just opened himself up in the Q&A and Patrick coming and hugging him and he's just, Picard, class action. Now, let's have a look at this. This is quite an article. I got a good banner for this one. This comes from we'vegotThiscovered.com, who notoriously, all respect, do seem to post anything. So they've got X-Men star reportedly eyed to play Star Wars Broom Boy in Rey Solo movie. There's a lot. There's a lot to take in. Now, again, if this shows up on a newspaper's website, it doesn't verify it. Help me. Dun, 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 dun. Skip. All right. According to our intel, which comes from the same sources that told us Rey would be revealed as Palpatine's granddaughter and Ahsoka Tano will be in The Mandalorian. What? So, Slash Film told you this? I do love these scoopers that come out with stuff like after I know it. It's like, come on. Former X-Men star Ty Sheridan is one actor being eyed for the adult version of Broom Boy, who's been canonically named as Turmeri Blag. Is that how you say his name? The movie will reportedly focus on retraining a new class of Jedi, which Blag would be a part of. And while details we have in there, we are told that the character is definitely returning at some point in the franchise's future and will play an important part moving forward. Now, so this guy, Ty Sheridan, who, I don't know, who was he in? Oh, he played Scott Summers, Cyclops. How old is this dude? He's 23 years old, right? And he's getting eyed to play a movie where if Broom Boy, so that's got to be 15 years after The Rise of Skywalker. And then, so, and what are they going to make Daisy really look older? Just very loose. Very, very loose. Where are we at? We are 20 to 5. Let's, if you want to do some questions, if you've got any topics, all right, how do I ban someone from this? Rick Villanueva, I don't even care if I'm mispronouncing your surname anymore, says that I've got this covered is the Toro, or we've got this covered. I'm so upset. I can barely say this. Is the Toro Calican of publishing. Ah, you're killing me. You are killing me. But yeah, if you want to, if you've got a question or a topic you want to talk about, maybe we'll do a couple minutes of that before we wrap up. Make sure you're hitting thumbs up and subscribe if you are watching on YouTube. If you're seeing this on the Twitter Periscope, you can retweet it. If you're on Facebook, give it a thumbs up, give it a share, whatever. I don't know where else you might be seeing it. Oh, you can also listen to the audio every day on the Steele Wars Patreon for just $1 a month. We'll get you all the YouTube content as audio. So if you can't sit down to watch the YouTube, and I know the YouTube app doesn't play sound like a podcast does unless you subscribe to the premium sort of thing. So just for $1 a month, you can support the pod and get to listen to all that 5 days a week. That's a lot of podding. And I'm trying to surf the internet. And for those that are at work all day, they're doing stuff where they're not on their computer, on their phone, they can get filled in with what's going on and hopefully have some fun with it at the same time, you guys. That's what I'd like to do. Have some fun. And, I promised this. Okay. New segment. I can't believe I almost forgot the new segment. This is very, I'm very upset about this. Very upset about this. Wait there. New segment. Let's get the banner on. I came up with a sweet theory on Yoda's species name in The Mandalorian going forward. And you guys can join in the comments if you need, if you've got your own. But this is a new segment that I'm calling Your Mandalorian Theory Sucks. Look at that graphic! Entertaining myself. Anyway, so this is what I think. This is my theory, you guys. Is we will never find out. I think it's a very bad idea that we find out the Yoda's species name, because I just don't think it's going to live up to, like, Yoda is a dumb word, but because we were introduced to it in 1980 and it had this sweet movie around it, we buy it. Jedi, I think, is one of the greatest made up words of all time. All words are made up, but that's one of the best. I feel like, the Gregario or the Zabos or whatever, the words that's on my keyboard, or the Q words, the Yoda, he's a Q word. Anything like that, it's not going to live up to the expectation of 40 years of wondering. So my theory is that the Yoda species name, millennia ago, they had a species name, maybe 1,000 years. But then people were, let's just call them the Q words. Let's call them the Q words. So the Q words were known as the Q words. They lived on planet Q word. Great time. Then from what I've seen hinted in the Mandalorian interviews and stuff, that all Yodas are force sensitive. They're the most force sensitive species in the galaxy. And so people began searching them out and hunting them to capture them, to harness the power, the force power, the ashlar, whatever, of the Q words. So the Q words had to go into hiding, much like the Mandalorians. Maybe their planet was destroyed, or just because it was just ransacked, people looking for other Q words. So then they decide to never speak the word Q word ever again. So they never refer to themselves. They know it. A Q-word knows he's a Q-word, but it is banned. Like a mother tells him that information. Oh, they could just force it across. Bow, wow, 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 Q-word, Q-word, Q-word. But at the same time, they say, don't tell anyone else because it's a Q-word secret. And we can't get, it helped them be able to be tracked down because they had a name. Something hasn't got a name. It is harder to track down. Trust me, I grew up in a small town and my name was Steele. Now, all the Mikes, they're getting away with whatever they want. Oh, this guy Mike was at a party and he did this or whatever. He spilled a drink. Yeah, it might be the Mike it might not be. But when Steele's at the party and he spills a drink, everyone knows about it. Oh, there's only one Steele. So you get rid of your name. You can slide under that radar. So I think we will never get the Yoda species name, but we will get that story. I'm basing this on something that I made up this morning. So what do you think? Can we go with let's call it the Q-word theory? Or does, on this side, the Mandalorian theory sucks? Let's check the chat. Baby Yoda is a pickle, just like Snoke. Thank you, Braxton. What? Why are you saying, oh no, Emily? What's that in relation to? Very sensitive about Emily's... Emily Lynn says, it would just be a name. But do you think my story, like my little backstory and Q-word history? M Flash. All right, come on. He says, I think that's a good call. I think Mando is going to get some information about the species that we know is not correct. Ooh. He's going to get Ryan Johnson. They're nobodies. They're everybody's. Tracy Moon says, not really helping. Prince got rid of his name. Then he eventually called himself the Purple Yoda from Minnesota. That's good. Alrighty. Catherine Neen says, so like Rumpelstiltskin, the power is in his name. Hey, I can't vouch for this Rumpelstiltskin character. The oh no, Emily said, was in preparation for hearing whatever it was going to be. All right, so before we wrap it up, Emily, what's your response? What's your verdict? Hey? This thing, like the chat is like 20 seconds behind like me talking, so I have to wait. Come on, Emily. Type. M Flash says, I think Lucasfilm is too scared to screw that one up. That they should be. Braxton says Yoda's first name is Minch. The Minch. It's fantastic. Where is Emily Lind? Very excited about this. She says, I'm trying to think of a way to put it nicely. We didn't think long enough. You didn't think long enough. Jim Grote says, would be cool if the species name included the letters LGBTQ just to hear the shrieking. Oh, man. You don't even have to. And Around the Galaxy's here. That's so cool. Saying I rock. Kyle Delaney says they should be known as yogurts. Do the Yoda last names have to start with a Y? Says Braxton. I don't know. I've never heard any of their last names. Anyway, we will bring it home. If you haven't already on today's show, hit like, hit subscribe if you haven't done so Oh, Emily has posted. I'm less convinced that it would actually offer the species any protection, but I wouldn't be surprised if we never hear the name. Of course it would add protection. Man, they didn't even change Luke Skywalker's name. They didn't care. But I'm better. I'm more diligent than Yoda and Ben Kenobi. Change the name, you guys. Yeah, and if you're watching on delay, give us a comment down below. I will try to answer them all. And it also, all this sort of interaction gets it in more people's feeds. More people can watch it, and I can keep this going every day of the week. We'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. on the east coast of Australia. In the UK, we are at midnight. Hit the little thumbs, hit the little subscribe. It's going to be good. Thank you guys so much. I so appreciate all your support, all the people jumping in the chat, all the people who've been sharing it on Twitter and all that stuff. We've got a new sort of revamped schedule for Steele Wars, which, if you like content, will be announced at, I'm going for the end of the month. So the first of the month, we'll get this. I'm saying it now, so I have to do it. We'll be back to doing interviews and trying to incorporate visual stuff so people can watch on YouTube, and but also have the interviews in the audio podcast. If you're just watching me on YouTube and you haven't checked in to the podcast, we have got just a buffet of interviews. Ben Mendelsohn, man, he's there. Little interviews with J.J. Abrams, Kathleen Kennedy. Just so many people. It's been a real thrill to do, and there's some great timeless interviews for you to check out. If you're a YouTube person, get onto iTunes, steelewars.com, wherever. And of course, you can get all the back episodes on Patreon, $1 just to get every interview episode, as well as YouTube content. $3 a month gets you all our bonus shows, Q&As, Star Wars U by Podcast, the Robbo Report, King Tom's Page Wars, where we go through the new canon books and comics that I don't have time to read. He tells me what goes down in them so I can keep up. It is good fun. I will see you guys tomorrow. And I would also like to say that may that force be with you.